I did all my running around today. I just got done. I got all the way back to the house and realized I'm not far from running out of gas, which I never do. Where are the bells? Where are the whistles? I guess maybe I got a little bit. Anytime these days, especially since the start of the year, since we've put horses up for sale or sold a horse or horses, I've always been faced with this dialogue with a number of people pushing back on why do we need to do this? Why do we have to do this? And I get it. I 100% get it. It's the same people against it and the same people for it, right? The people against it are people that have been with us from the start when we used to buy a horse with this never-ending contract of we'll possibly keep this horse forever. Put yourself in my shoes. I wanted to start a stable. I wanted to get people involved, and much of the policies or practices that we do now at the stable that have changed over the time have been by popular demand, right? I don't mean to say that we're just driven by the loudest voices. That's not the case. I've looked at what has worked for the stable and what has not worked for the stable since our inception, and what has worked as a trainer and a driver since before that. And it's hard. It's not hard at all, actually, to remember what doesn't work, because it usually leaves a mark. Obviously a financial one, but if you're not lucky, a bigger one. This is a tough game. It's not easy. You guys know that. I sold White Tiger last week and obviously faced an onslaught from right in my own home. And I get it from my wife. And Ava's 13 now, so she is of that age. And the same thing, Amy got it. I mean, sure, she doesn't want to sell a White Tiger, right? And I get that. I get why she doesn't. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of being a human being. And it's not that I'm not a human being, but I have to make decisions that I know sometimes are going to leave some people upset. Now, it's never good to have one of the people on that list your wife, but Amy gets it. She understood quickly the position I was in, right? And I'm in the position of doing what's best for everybody, right? Obviously, what's best for my wife is just to keep the horse that she loves forever and ever and ever. And that's that. But that isn't what we signed up for. Not myself, not her, not the McDonald family. I have a much more responsible job to do. And I can't always be right. I can't always do the right thing. All I can do is try. So anytime I make a video like this talking about putting horses in a sale, I always get the same thing. It's, if a younger horse, can we not wait longer just to see if the horse turns out or pans out? And I've seen this. These movies, I've seen them play out before, right? I told everybody, Seasons of Love is going up for sale. And I'm sure there's going to be people saying, Anthony, she's only had 2 starts. Can we not just give her some time and let her grow up? You guys know we can't. Give her 2 starts to do what? Trot in 2-3? 2-2? The maiden at London, which is probably the easiest place to race right now in Canada, well, North America, or in Ontario for sure, just went in 2-1. 4 seconds faster. And I'm wrong. I guessed. I eyeballed 2.5. It might have been 2.6. Might have been 2.7. Scope clean. She can't stay for that reason. Snap you. Decent filly. But we have horses trained today that aren't quite ready to race that could beat Snap you right now. And we never know, right? And when we get to this point, kind of open that door quietly just to see what's on the other side. Is Seasons of Love going to go out and win in 2-1? Right? Is Snap you going to go out and win a maiden? No Chance in Hill. Is he going to go out and win? Those horses are not at 100% right now, but they're getting closer to it. Close enough that I can tell you, looking at them, sure, they're going to be nice overnight horses. Might even find a soft Buckeye one night for them or a couple of fair races, but not really what we're looking for. My job is to make sure we keep our stable as strong as we can. As they say, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I do apologize that feathers have been ruffled into 2023 and definitely into 2024. But the pivot we made and we continue to make, I am unapologetic for it in the sense that it is the right thing to do. I do feel bad that some people feel that we're going in the wrong direction. I just don't feel that we are. When I look at the barn, when I look at the babies we're about to train tomorrow that we trained last week, I couldn't be more impressed. Now, I hate training sophomores in front of you guys, especially ones today. I've had nothing but emails all afternoon. Oh, my horse didn't look. What's wrong with Mel Gibswan? What's wrong with Pickpocket? Oh, my, this is Pickpocket. He won the Bluegrass. He couldn't possibly make a break. This is why I hate training sophomores in front of people. This is why I hate bringing you videos of sophomores. Everybody thinks they want to see their horse until they see their horse and like, oh, I'm a little disappointed. I thought the horse would be better. Sophomores are not like rookies. You know, train them down, put the work into them, and slowly but surely they get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Then you go to the schoolers, then you go to the qualifiers, and lo and behold, there's your horse from last year. Hopefully a better form. And sometimes they're not. So this is the toughest time of year. I literally have spent all afternoon answering emails. Pickpocket, Memory and Imagination, Affection, Mel Gibswan. What happened to all these horses? I thought they'd be better. Again, that boils down to everybody getting a chance to look behind the curtain. First dry run or dress rehearsal of any play kind of looks messy, I would imagine. It's nice to see your horses, but that is not the finished product. This video is not about that, right? It's not about the 2-year-olds, it's not about the 3-year-olds, it's about some of them on both sides. But what it is a video outlining horses we are going to put up for sale and why we are putting them up for sale now. Most of you can answer your own questions in regards to this. We do have one 2-year-old. I am going to put Baby Zet up for sale next week. I see the filly coming forward, but I just don't see a path. And I've said this before and been wrong. I don't think I am in this case. I don't see a path from where she is to being any sort of stake filly. And we'll have an abundance of overnight horses. Right? 58, 59 is the maiden trot's going to go most of the summer in Pennsylvania at the Meadows. Right? A little slower here at Northfield Park. But again, these are Pennsylvania breds. And we are going to have a lot of horses to race this summer in Ontario, in Ohio, in Pennsylvania. A ton in Kentucky also. So Baby Zet is going to be going on the preferred sale site. And I'm going to lock all these tonight. So please don't bother putting your shares up for sale and having somebody else buy them. I've let it happen before, but there's just no need of it, right? The horses are going to be sold within a week. So Baby Zet is going up for sale. Electric Line likely going up for sale. We'll see how he races here in a little while, and then we'll go from there with Electric Line. There are some people that bought big chunks of Electric Line. One in particular I want to talk to, but again, is this a horse we're just going to watch race and pay bills on? Keep in mind, I want everybody to please take a step back and understand this. Within the next 21 days, we'll have 26 more horses qualified in racing. So as I talk about moving Oh Snap You and No Chance in Hill, there are 5 horses that fit that class that will be ready to go in the next 2 weeks. Baby Zet, Electric Line, No Chance in Hill, Oh Snap You, Seasons of Love, Steel Cowboy. Listen, I've done everything I can. He won a race in 52-2. Then he had a lot of subpar races. We rested him, castrated him, rested him, let him come back. I don't mind his attitude. Still bumpy. I didn't mind how he qualified at the Meadows, but that was 2-2 in the mud. What can you do? James schooled him in 58 the other day at Mohawk and said, I don't like this horse. Oh, that's cool. A little hurtful. But I guess I appreciate your brutal honesty. Maybe. So I'm hoping that at least James can drive the horse on Friday. Get a flat line on him, a decent line. If it looks great, fine. We can talk about reserves, but man, it would have to be quite a bit different than what I've seen. And we are going to buy Steel Cowboys. We are going to buy Oakwood Cowboys along the way that just haven't panned out or may never pan out. I have no idea yet. But we're also going to buy good horses. And the last horse for sure on this list right now is one of our better horses in Locatelli. And I've been floating Locatelli's name. I've talked to a number of our clients about it. There are going to be people that say, I just don't understand why you want to sell Locatelli. Well, I'm going to tell you why. For anybody out there looking for a Locatelli type horse, very nice horse, quality horse. For us, he is not as good as looks like money. That's that. And I don't think there's anybody out there that can disagree with that. If you are, you're just not using rational information. Looks Like Money is the best horse we have right now. Well, Spitfire looked pretty good the last 2 weeks, but 2 weeks don't make a year. And Looks Like Money is coming back good. When that New Holland series is over, they're going to go back to the preferred and the backup class type situations. And Looks Like Money belongs in there when he's tight. Locatelli is a fringe player in the Open at Mohawk. We have another horse there, Yo Mister. I think Yo Mister's a younger version of Locatelli. Now, he got roughed up something fierce the other night, but Stacy had messaged me after, and she goes, there's a couple of times he got roughed up with us. The one thing about him is he forgets quickly. He can turn the page and move on as a racehorse, and I believe he'll probably show that next week. So that's good. Now, having said that, he is still in the New Holland series next week. Both of them are. Selling Locatelli, now the sale falls on Holiday Monday. The sale is on Tuesday, which means Locatelli will be able to race in the second elimination of the New Holland series before we put him up for sale. Now, I've talked about Locatelli at length. His best racing is done on a bigger track. He can get around a 5/8 and he can get around a half. But we do have other horses to fit those bills. And the same reason I sold White Tiger is the same reason that Locatelli is going up for sale. The simple reason being we have too many of those horses. The classes don't fill enough. It has not filled at the Meadows. It doesn't fill full-time at Northfield Park. I have no idea if it's going to fill full-time in Kentucky. Right? When we had Perlucky out in Illinois, every 2 weeks, we'd be off for 2 weeks. What we need to have are horses that are competitive, week in and week out. That's tough to do when you're racing a fringe player in the Open. That means every 2 or 3 starts is wasted for us right now. I would literally rather have 6 collectors than an abundance of Locatellis. Locatelli's a great horse to have. Great horse to have. 3 Locatellis, not so great to have because there's nowhere to race them. I would rather have the horses that can get in every week. If you want to race them every week, they belong. Now, at some point, collector's gonna. I'm not foolish and naive. I understand the collector's gonna reach his saturation point also, but I like to see the horse he turns into. We had moved Carter Michael Dio. I had a slew of emails about how good Carter Michael Dio was. He's good as this horse. He should be doing this. Why didn't you do that? And I told everybody I chose Spitfire Overseas. So I think he's a better horse. I made the mistake of calling him a better horse. And that in itself ended up with an onslaught of comparative emails. This horse can do this. I don't need it. I already know who the better horse was. I didn't need to be analytically told who the better horse is. I know who it is. And now it's come to fruition. As I said before, we start down this path of selling horses, keeping horses, and acquiring horses, and trying to train our 2-year-olds down and our 3-year-olds down. This is the time of year. It's cool because we get to watch the 2-year-olds train. I didn't care. The 3-year-olds trained fine today, but I knew what was going to happen. We were going to go out. There was going to be some of those 3-year-olds didn't look as good as everybody thought they should, and here comes the emails. And that's exactly what happened. Pickpocket will be ready to go in May. Memory and Imagination will be ready to go by May. Mel Gibbswan is a very nice horse and will be ready to go by May. How they look on March the 12th means very little to me. It's just putting work in. It's not even spring training. It's before spring training. No, literally is spring training. And I don't regret doing it. I'm glad that everybody got to see their horse, and I'm glad that everybody got to see the ones make breaks that made breaks, and I'm glad that everybody emailed me that emailed me. This is not a situation where it's, I told you so in May. This is a situation where you too can learn. Right? You guys saw I went out in the track with, I'd said it in an earlier video, I went out in the track with all gas, no brakes. Went to tournament, ran all over the track. Went back in the barn, made a few little changes. 57-2, wrapped up. Strong as hell. These little changes, right? The mistakes they make allow us to polish them as we go along. And when that's the same for 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. The 3-year-olds cannot cheat. They have to put the work in. Same as every other 3-year-old out there. They don't need to be going in 55 right now, right? 210 in a jog cart, you make a break, no problem. We'll go back Friday, see if they make a break on Friday. This is all part of the process, and you guys get to see that process. You get to see horses being acquired in racing. You get to see horses being sold. You get to see the babies being purchased, broke, trained down. You get to see the sophomores getting trained down. And you get to learn along the way exactly the very subtle things that go on in horse racing that make major differences sometimes. So for those of you out there that aren't really sure what you witnessed today when it comes to the sophomores, or what you see when you see the horses make breaks or train good as the 2-year-olds, I want you to absorb it all and understand that it's all part of the process. And when it comes to the upcoming sale, when it comes to horses that we're going, these aren't the last ones. We're going to continue to move out horses that just are not going to be stable horses. We can continue to be a giant tent that just keeps all types of horses in there. If they race good, they race good. If they race bad, they race bad. No problem. Or we can find a better way forward. That's what I've tried to do my whole life, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Doing the best I can to make sure that we have the strongest barn we can moving forward. That's it. So, a bit of a quiet rant. Not upset in the least. And if you are one of the people that wrote an email, please don't think that I'm upset in the least. I knew exactly what was going to happen when we trained the horses. I was not shocked to see any of the emails, not one of them. And I'm happy to answer any of them. And if you're out there and you're hearing this, like, I was going to send an email, but I don't want to now, send me a message, send me an email. I'm happy to explain every little thing to everybody. I want everybody to understand what horse racing is, top to bottom, soup to nuts, front to back. And it's a wonderful game to be involved in, but sometimes when you see something you don't really understand what it is, what it means, what it leads to, and hopefully along the way you do. So that's my my mid-afternoon, it's not mid-afternoon, my evening discussion with you about 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, racehorses, sales, acquisitions, and what it is to be a member of this industry that we all love. So with that, I will talk to you soon. Take care. Have a wonderful night. And no, we will not be videoing the rookies tomorrow, but we will. We're planning to maybe do it on Saturday for you guys. I love getting you guys the videos of the rookies this time of year, or maybe the sophomores in a couple of weeks when they're a little closer, but it is what it is. So take care. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful evening.